So next we'll be doing interface endpoint. So this interface endpoints will deploy in subnet, and this is going to support most of the services like including S3 and DynamoDB, and these are going to use ENIs as we discussed all these things. And interface endpoints, we are not going to use any kind of public IP here. Okay, without dependency of public IP, we are going to route traffic. We are going to access the service, or we are going to launch an instance. Everything without a dependency of public IP. Without public IP, we were not able to connect to the instance, right? So but here we are going to do, and this interface endpoints will be using private DNS name, and it's not going to use any kind of route tables. And we can use security groups, and this is like we can restrict the access using IAM policy. Okay, now we'll go here. Already we are having endpoint. I'll just change to the interface endpoint. Interface endpoint. Okay, and coming to subnets, we are already having private subnet. So no, we are not depending on this public. Okay, I'll just detach this. Okay, just let it be. So we'll go to the subnets. In subnets, we are having AWS side, or not AWS, so sorry, private. We created private, right? So we are having private. We'll get into this subnet. See, this subnet is having 10.0.0.128.25 CIDR range, and we'll go to route tables. In route tables also, you can see private. This private doesn't have any kind of okay, this is like when we created endpoint, right? Gateway endpoint. That time it automatically it will attach. We didn't attach it. So now I'll delete it, that gateway endpoint. So I'll go actions. I will delete. So delete it. Okay, I deleted it. So now we'll go to route tables. So like in interface endpoints are not going to depend on any route tables. It is going to access privately through DNS names. So now you have to go to VPC. In VPC, we have interface endpoint. Click here, go to actions, edit VPC settings. So here we'll have something like DNS host names. You have to enable, because interface endpoints are connecting through DNS. DNS is domain name server, where it is converting all the IP address into the domain names to the IP addresses. See, like example, you go to any website, you try to access Flipkart. So this flipkart.com is getting converted into the IP address. Okay, servers are familiar with IP addresses, not with the names. But we humans, we cannot keep in mind all the IP addresses. So we are familiar with the names, but all the servers are familiar with the IP addresses. So we have to go enable host names, or else it will not communicate. Okay, so save. And coming to subnets, so we have yeah, private subnet. So again, go to actions. Uh, we have yeah, edit subnet settings. Yeah, here you can enable resource name DNS resource on launch. We have to enable the DNS and enable this public IPv4 address also, and save it. So now coming to VPC, we created VPC and we have enabled DNS. Subnets also we have created and enabled. Okay, we are not depending on any route table here. And coming down, one second. You guys can sit in Asha's class.
Which class?
Asha.
Russian.
Asha class. Right side.
Right side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inform your next.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. We have enabled the DNS host names, you can see. Okay. Again, coming down, we have endpoints. We have endpoints. So now we are going to create an endpoint. So now we are accessing without public IP. So we are connecting to the instance. We are connecting to instance without public IP. So we have something like SSM. So I'll just show you. We'll go to EC2. Go to instance. So I have terminated public IP. We are not using any kind of public IP here. So we have private IP. See, we don't have public IP before address. Now I want to connect it. See, EC2 instance connect. We cannot connect it because without public IP, we cannot connect it. Again, coming to session manager, I need to connect using session manager. But we have to install SSM agent in our like yeah, like in our instance. So to instance, like we have to instance this, then only we can connect this. So now we are going to do SSM agent in our system. So SSH client also we cannot connect it. See, because without public IP we cannot do it, and we have EC2 serial connect. So this is also not possible now. So now we'll go to the VPC. We'll go to VPC, and down we are having endpoints. Endpoints. So now we are going to create interface endpoint. Okay. So create endpoint. Okay. So we are going to create SSM. So you can give a name anything like interface endpoint. Interface endpoint. So coming down AWS services, I will choose SSM. Okay, we have here, we have SSM and we have SSM messages. First we are going to create SSM. Then we have VPC. We'll choose interface endpoint. Coming down, we have subnets. We'll choose this subnet. And which subnet is this? It's a private or public. Private. Right. Again, we'll choose this IPv4. Again, coming down, I will choose this default. Whatever this is all default. I'll just choose anyone. Come down, and I'm going to create endpoint. So now done. Again, I'm going to create endpoint for message interface endpoint. Then coming down, we have like SSM. We have one more is messages. So just choose this messages. Coming to VPC, choose interface endpoint and subnets, and we are choosing private. Coming down IPv4, and this is default. You can just choose the default one, and coming down create endpoint. So now I have created the endpoint, right? So but I have to attach the role. If two services want to communicate with each other, we have to create a role, right? So now I'll go to IAM. So now I'll go to roles. I'll create a role. So role is EC2 role. Next, so I'll choose SSM. So SSM, you can see here we have uh, yeah, Amazon SSM manage instance code. We are gonna attach this policy. Click here. Again, come down. Next, role name is interface endpoint role. Come down. So I'm going to create role. So now role is created. Okay. So now we'll go to instance. We'll go to instance. Go to instance. So this is private, right? Without our public IP, we are not able to connect. So we are using attaching IAM role and we are trying to connect without public IP. So go to private, actions, security, modify IAM role. So which is a role I created. This one, right? Interface endpoint role. Now I'm going to update. So now I'll try to connect it. Connect. See, there's still okay. It's taking some time. I'll try to start and stop the instance. So I'll go to private. Go to instance state and stop the instance. So it is stopping. Okay, it is stopped now. Okay, now again I'll start the instance. So it's running. The status should pass 2 by 2 check. Then only will connect. It's still initializing. I don't know why it's taking so long. Yeah, now to buy to check is passed. Now we'll try to connect it. See, we are using session manager and connecting it. We are not using, it doesn't have any kind of public IP, right? So it got connected. So now I can do like whatever we used to do in SSL. Sudo so. See, now got into root. I'll try to list. See, it's listing. Okay. We can like whatever we used to do, same like in an instance when we launched using public IP, we used to do same thing. We can do all the things in this also when we connect to a session manager. But thing is like difference is like we are not using public IP. Okay, this is about instance, sorry, interface endpoint.